Hi, welcome to the Thread and Curiosity podcast. My name is Sarah Jane or SJ, and I'm based in Reading, Berkshire, in the UK. How is everyone? How are you doing? I hope everyone is well. I have a few things that I wanted to share. So I've got some finished objects, some whips, some acquisitions, and some future plans. So grab yourself a drink and a project if you've got one. Get nice and cozy, and I'm glad that you're here to spend some time with me. So let's get started. So let's talk about my FOs. I have 3 FOs that I'd like to share with you. I have a shawl, a top, and a sock. So let's get started, and no surprises, I am going to share with you my Stephen West twist and turns shawl. So let me move back and I can show you the shawl. So here it is. As you can see, I have done the early bind off, and also you may notice that there's something missing. I haven't done the I-cords for the cables. So the pattern calls for the I-cords to be done in the pop of colour, but as you can see, or hopefully you can see in this light, in here there is a lot of the pop of colour in here with the pink and the purples. So I'm thinking that the navy blue will probably be a little nicer than the pop of colour. I'm trying to decide, so that's why I haven't done it as of yet. And what I might do is I might do one of each colour and just thread it through and see what I would like. I think it probably would be nicer with the navy blue, as there is so much of the pop of colour in there. But let's see. I will hopefully have that done for my next video, and then I'll be able to share with you what I decided to do. The yarn that I used is Queen Fibres. One of the colorways was Oyster. As I said previously, I bought this from a Facebook marketplace where people sell their D-stash. She did say to me that they're both the same color, just one has a little bit more purple than the other. I'm not sure that's right, but I'm still really happy that I used the colors. For the main color, I used this blue. I found it in a charity shop on a cone. Cost me £2.50 for the cone, and I've got quite a bit of it left over, which is really nice. And for the pop of colour, I used the botanical yarns, and this was a sport weight, and I wasn't too sure what it would look like. I think there was one issue with using sport weight, was that this seemed to not be as long. So I only managed to do 19 or 20 of the stripes instead of 23, 24 of the stripes. But I'm still happy with the shawl. I like the size, as I said before. I'm really happy with it. It's just a little bit smaller than the other shawls that I've done previously. Yeah, it's just a great size, and I'm really happy with it. So let's see if I decide to do it next year. I probably will, but yeah, I'm really happy, and yeah, I'm hope that you guys who took part are really happy with your result of your shawl, and that you're happy that you joined along. It was really good. Okay, my next finished object, I want to share my sock with you. So last video in my whips, I had some sock tubes, and I have finished one sock. So I have done a Afterthought heel, cuff and toe, 2x2 rib. I'm not really sure what type of toe this is. It's one that I like. It's from a No Fear sock pattern that I took part in with the Earth Tone Girl when I was starting to learn how to do socks, because I haven't really, I think I started learning to do them in COVID, which was last year before. and I'm loving them. So the colourway of the tube is West Yorkshire Spinners Candy Cane. It was one of their Christmas colours that they released. I'm not sure when they released it, but you can still get hold of this colourway. It's really pretty. And the contrasting cuff, heels and toes, I'm using Hobbies Rainbow Sock Wool 4-ply in the colour red. I am currently working on this one. So there is where I'm going to put my heel. I have got my toe already done, just got to put the ends in, and I am a little bit way into the cuff. I'm doing 15 rounds. It's probably about 4 or 5 rounds. So that should hopefully be done by next week, and then I'll have a lovely pair of socks. I do have some others, but I will show you them in my whip section. Okay. Last object I've got to share with you is my Daybreak Tee, and this Daybreak Tee was written by Destiny Meyer. So I'll just move back and show you this. This is a short sleeve top. It sits just at my waist. There's lace on the front, as you can see. Oops, sorry. But it's plain on the back. I did a I-cord bind off around the neckline because I thought that would be quite nice, and it would sit a bit flatter than just doing an ordinary cast off. And it's the first time I've done a 3-needle bind off, and I think it's really good. I really liked it. It is starting to pill. It's the first time that I've made a top out of pure cotton, and I used this, the Knitting Essentials Natural Cotton. So I don't know if it's the brand or if it's just the way that cotton yarn is and it peels. But I do have some more cotton yarn in my stash. I would like to make another one of these t-shirts or tops. It's a little big. I did the biggest size. I mean, it's great to wear and everything, but I think I'll probably go down a size next time I knit it. And I'm planning it to maybe do a couple of more cotton tops so that I have some more in my wardrobe for when we get to the hotter seasons. So once I decide which patterns I'm going to knit, and I'll share with you and let you know how the progress goes, and if it is the fabric, which probably some of you guys know, maybe it is just the yarn, or if it's the specific make. But yeah, that's it. That's all my finished objects. So let's talk about my whips. I don't have many, to be honest, and that's because I didn't really have many on the needles when I decided to do the shawl, because I knew it would take me 6 or 7 weeks to do, and I didn't really want to have the extra pressure. So the only 2-3 whips that I have are socks. So the sock tube for the candy cane, once you've knit it, if you put it in half, it gives you 2 socks per half. I hope I'm explaining that right. So this was one half, which was in my kind of finished objects. This is my second half. So I just need to cut this in half and then do the heels, toes and cuffs. And then I have my gingerbread, which I am still knitting on. I don't have much yarn left. So then once I get this finished, then I'll do the same. I'm going to use the same red to do the heels, toes and cuffs. So I kind of do this while I'm like watching TV and things like that, and then knit on these when I am in meetings, because I do a few Zoom meetings now and then during the week, and it just gives me something to keep my hands busy instead of typing and things like that. It helps me to concentrate. So yeah, and the only other sock I have is my Halloween sock, because I put it on the needle and then didn't really knit on it. So this is as much as I've done for my Halloween socks. This is the Universal Halloween Sock Wool from Hobby, in the colourway Zombie Plant, I think it's called. But yeah, it's got some really nice like purple glitter in it, and I have some Hobby Lobby this wool in black. So I think I'm going to use that for heels, toes and cuffs. So yeah, and that's my whips. So acquisitions, I have a few that I want to share with you, and this is my first one. It's not much, I know. There is a story behind this. I organise a advent calendar for myself every year in January. I pop onto eBay and I buy 24 20 grams of DK yarn, and then I make my own advent calendar. So what I do is I pop them in here into my little advent calendar bags that I've got, and I pop them in my box, just a shoe box, and I put them underneath my cupboard for December. By that time, I don't really sure what colourways I've picked, so it is still a little bit of a surprise. And then around about February time, or maybe when there's a sale on Etsy, I go and find a seller that makes stitch markers, and I ask them if I can have 24. And then what I do is I close my eyes and I put one in every bag, and then that way I don't know what the stitch markers are. I ask them to give me a varied ones of what they have in their store, and then when it gets a little bit closer to Christmas, I buy like a bag of Celebrations or Quality Streets, and then I'll pop a chocolate in every bag. This year what I've done is I've actually brought a chocolate advent calendar, so I'm still getting a little bit of chocolate every day, but it's cheaper for me to buy an advent calendar than it is to buy a packet of Quality Streets or Celebrations. So what I've done is I have reached out to a seller on Etsy, and the seller is Lizzie Bird Yarns. That's her little sticker there. I went onto her store and I picked 3 skeins of sock yarn that come with a mini, and I messaged her and I said, would you please pick one of these 3 yarns and send it to me wrapped, because I want to do an advent calendar for myself and I'd like to have a surprise. So what she's done is she's picked one of those colorways and she's wrapped it for me. So I don't know what's in here, but I know what's in here I will like, because I picked 3 of the yarns that I loved. So it's still a lovely surprise on Christmas Day to open it up, and it's just a little gift to myself, and it's a little bit, well, it's a lot cheaper than the other yarns that you will buy from an advent calendar, which can be from about £50 all the way up to 120, up to £250, which is really nice. But I do like to make jumpers out of acrylic if I'm going to be wearing them to work and things like that, because I like to be able to just throw them into the washing machine and get them washed and ready for the working week. Where my hand-dyed yarns I tend to use for shawls or for other special items that don't get washed as often. I don't really use it for sock yarn anymore, because I find that the socks don't last as long as if I use, say, West Yorkshire Spinners or any others. So yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. I might do it for a cow, but it depends on what colour it is. And I do have a stash. All my stash is in this cupboard here. And maybe I might do a stash showing video one time. But yeah, so that's this. And I'll let you know what colourway it is once we get past Christmas. Okay, so my next yarns I brought from a yarn store I wasn't aware of. I was going to Bracknell to meet up with some friends for dinner, and found that there was a yarn store on the way. I didn't even know. So I decided, after going out for lunch with my friends, with my ladies, that I pop on the way home from Bracknell to Reading, and I popped in and I bought these two yarns. So I brought this. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Adrafil Zebrano. Now, the reason why I only brought one skein is because I brought a mystery bag of yarn, gosh, a year ago, and it had two skeins of this in this colorway. And because they're only 25 gram, yeah, they're 50-gram balls, 125 meters, I wasn't really sure what to make with it. And then I saw she had this and I thought, brilliant, I can add another ball, which means that I could probably make something else, or my options of what I can make with the yarn could become bigger. So I picked it up because it was the only one that she had left in this particular colorway, and I do like the colorway. So the colorway is 065. I don't know if it's the same color batch, to be honest. It probably isn't, but if I can put it all together and maybe do one stripe of each, it may not show. But yeah, I was really happy to find this. And then I brought this. This is Stylecraft Grace in Aran weight. It's 85% premium acrylic, 10% mohair and 5% wool. This apparently is a brand new yarn that's come out from Stylecraft, and this is in the colour Oyster. Now there's a reason why I've brought this, and I'll bring this up when I go through my future plans. And then I brought some yarn that I can't share with you. This is because I'm taking part of the La Mercy Christmas sock yarn. It's like a box. So what you do is you put your name down on a form, and you get joined in with a group of people, and then you get given a name. And then what you do is you create a sock box for them for Christmas. So you buy some sock yarn and maybe some other bits and pieces, maybe like a hot chocolate or something else, or maybe some biscuits or anything. And you wrap it up really nice, and then you post it to them, and then you get a box in return. This is the 4th year I've done it. And I have brought hand-dyed yarn previously, but this lady, I'm not going to mention her name because I don't really want to share that information, but she's a sock knitter, but she's like me, she's not really fussed about hand-dyed yarn being with socks. She prefers to have like West Yorkshire spinners, opal and things like that. So what I will tell you is that I've brought her some opal yarn. I'm not going to say what colourway or anything else because she's never used opal yarn before, and I think that's really nice for socks. And I've created like a little box for her with some other bits and pieces and some treats in it. And yeah, the yarn came a couple of days ago, so I'm going to pack that up. But when I brought my yarn, I brought it from the Wool Warehouse, and they were having a sale on, and I saw this. And so I thought, why not? I think it was about £2 or maybe £3 for the ball, and I thought, bargain. I can get a really nice pair of socks out of this zigzag. So this is zigzag yarn. The colour is 4811. There you are. It's 4-ply. I've never used zigzag. I've never used King Colt. So I think it's going to be really nice. I'm not really sure what it's going to stripe up as, but I think it's going to look really lovely and summery. And yeah, I just thought I'd treat myself. And it was a good deal. As you know, West Yorkshire spinner yarn's about £8 or £9 a ball. So this was a really good buy. And that's it. That's my acquisitions. So future plans. I have decided to just make some future plans because I've got quite a bit of stash yarn. I've got some requests from family. To be honest, I'm quite a selfish knitter. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I do like knitting for myself and no one else. I think it's because I feel that people have to be knit worthy, and some people that ask me don't really appreciate how long it takes to knit things. And also, I'm always worried that they're not going to fit, they're not going to be what they expect. And it gets me very worried and anxious. I'm quite an anxious person as it is anyway, and it does get me worried. So I really don't like putting myself on that little emotional train ride that I put myself on. I don't need to put myself under any pressure. But as you know, being a maker, you always do. You always try and make things so that people are happy with them. But the two people that have asked me to make them something is my mum and my partner. And I've made my partner something previously, and he wears it all the time. So I can see that he's a very knit-worthy person. We've only been dating, a year or so. And as I don't make things really for people, yeah, he is a very knit-worthy person. So he's asked me to make him some fingerless gloves. I have never made these before. He asked me about 6 months ago before winter came if I could make them for him. And I said, yeah, sure. And then just went, ooh, how am I going to do those? So now I don't have many big items. I finished my shawl, I finished the top. I think it's going to be nice to get a few small things on the go. As I've got these Christmas sock that I want to do, and I've also got maybe 4 or 5 other balls of Christmas sock yarn that I really want to get knitted up this year or into January. So it will be nice to have a little bit of a palette cleanser once in a while. So the yarn that I made the cowl for him is this. I've got no idea what this is. I know it's double knit. It's nice because it's got all those little flecks of colour in. What I might do is I might have a look and see if it is in my Ravelry stash, and then if it is in there, I'll pop the name of the yarn underneath and what colourway it is. But this is what I made his cowl out of, and I've got quite a bit left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh it and see how much I've got. And I've looked at a couple of patterns on Ravelry. These are free. So I've looked at the Fingerless or Non-Glove by Paula McKeever. And I'll pop a photo up on here, and I'll pop a link down below of the pattern and where you can find it. And I've also looked at the Winter Mechanicals by John Styes, and I'll pop a photo up here as well, and I'll put a link below. They're both double knit patterns. They're free. For if anybody in here doesn't know how to do fingernail gloves, I've looked at the patterns briefly, and you do little tubes for the fingers, and then you attach them to the glove, and then you do the rest of the glove. So I'm going to give it a whirl. If it doesn't work out, I'll just say to him I'm not sure how to knit them, and I'll just buy him a pair maybe for Christmas. But I really would like to try. I mean, if I can do a Stephen West shawl, I'm sure that I can make myself a pair of fingerless gloves. But cross your fingers and wish me luck, and maybe I might have a finished pair to share with you on my next video. So the other project that my mum's asked me to make is ear warmers. So it's like a little headband that runs around your head that covers your ears. So I've looked at the Winter Morning by Kalura Hudsall, and I'll put the pattern up here. This is made out of super bulky yarn, and I really like the pattern, and I love the cable that runs around it. It's really nice. And I've also seen this one, which is the Green Forest by Retta Ryder. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, I apologize, but I'll pop a picture up here of that. Yeah, this is with double knit yarn, and I haven't yet looked into my stash. I've literally only just found these patterns that I like, and they're again free on Ravelry. So I'm going to have a look through my stash and see if I've got what ones I've got. I know I've got some grey super bulky yarn that I made a cardigan with. And I know that I've got some double knit yarn. I've got loads. I've got all in different colours as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look through my stash and do a bit of stash busting. And while I'm making my mum one, I think I might make me one as well. And also my friend Alex, she does dog walking. So maybe I might consider making her one as well, and see if I can do a bit of stash busting, which would be quite nice. And the last future plan I've got is to do with the grey yarn that I bought. So this that I spoke about previously. Now I made a hat. I made a Chelsea in Paris hat by Chelsea Yarns. Christina from Chelsea Yarns. It's her pattern, and I'll put a picture up here. And I loved it. I knitted it with blue and white mohair, and it was lovely. And I will put a picture up here of me wearing it. I was so happy with that. And then it started to irritate my forehead. And then I couldn't wear it. So I gifted it to a friend, and now I've been trying to find a yarn that I can use with some lace that I've got in my stash. Now this lace is a beautiful golden yellow colour. I love it, and I've put it into 2 balls because it's lace. I tried knitting a lace shawl with it and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the process. It was taking so long to knit, and it wasn't a pattern I really particularly liked. The only reason why I picked it was because the pattern, you didn't need to know how much yarn you had on the ball. And because I brought this yarn from eBay a very, very long time ago, I'm probably talking about 4 or 5 years, I can't find the listing on my eBay. I didn't write down the yardage. I don't know how much I've got. So I've decided that I've split the ball in half, and I'm going to do 2 strands together. So 2 lace weights, from my understanding, gives you fingering yarn. So I'm going to do that. And I want to make this Chelsea in Paris hat because I loved wearing it. I loved the fit. I loved the look and everything. And then I was thinking about pairing it with this. This is an Aran weight. I'm not sure if you're going to actually see the yellow in this, because I want this to really be the star. And I am considering on buying some mohair from Hobby. I'll put a picture up here. It's in a beautiful yellow colour, and I think maybe what I should do is maybe just buy a couple of balls of that and put it together with this yarn, and that should maybe make me a DK yarn, or maybe a sport weight with the mohair, and then I can make myself one of these hats. But I definitely think I want to make a hat with this, and I definitely want to pair it with something. The Chelsea in Paris hat might not be the best pattern for it, but I just keep thinking about it all the time. I knitted this hat last year, and I still keep wanting to have another one. So I'm just going to keep chipping away and trying to find the best solution. But this doesn't seem to be itchy because there is only 10% mohair in it. And at the moment, I mean, I'm trying it on my skin. It seems to be fine. I just worried that it's going to be a white hat with a little bit of yellow, and that's not what I want. But I'm going to do a swatch, and I'm just going to see what it turns out to be, and if it is something that I want. If it's not, then I'll just find another combination. But yeah, that is it for my future plans. I do have a shawl in mind, but I'm trying to decide if it is the right shawl, and what colour combinations I want to do it in, but it will be for next year, and I will update you on those decisions. And that's it for my future plans. So that's it. That's all I have to share with you this time. So thank you so much for spending your time with me and watching this little video that I have in my little corner of YouTube. And stay well, stay safe, enjoy all your crafting, and I will see you soon.